up? How's it going? All right, this is just a follow-up to my previous live stream from last week while I'm driving to work. Again, good morning. Maybe you're getting ready for work. It's possible. I promised that I would tell you exactly how I got rid of gout. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now. Gout is always curable. Nobody wants to tell you this in Big Pharma, but gout is always curable. All right. A little backstory on this. How did I know that I had gout? Well, I didn't at first. My knuckles started swelling up. My wrists started swelling up. And I had to figure out what was causing it. And again, for anybody joining right now, it's a follow-up to how I found out and got rid of gout. So my knuckles were swelling up, my wrists were swelling up. And I said, there's got to be a reason for this. I went to the hospital, and they pulled 5 vials of blood to try to figure it out. And they said, we're going to run all the arthritis tests to figure out what kind of arthritis this is. And I went home and I said, that makes sense. None of the males in my family have arthritis. I said, so it doesn't make sense from a genetic viewpoint. It doesn't make sense that I would have arthritis. And so I realized, well, wait a minute. Most of the males in my family do have gout. I wonder if you can get gout in your hands. So I said, if there's got to be a way to get rid of it. No natural way to get rid of it. If it's not arthritis, there's got to be a natural way to get rid of gout. So I started doing some research, and you find out things like it's caused by the purines, which turn into uric acid inside of your system, right? So gout is caused by the purines that you eat from different things, including meats, and it turns into uric acid, which then forms in your joints. So the uric acid becomes crystals that are inside of your joints. Most people get gout in their feet. Okay, it's so painful that you cannot put your shoes on. That's how painful it gets for most people. Well, for me, I had the unusual kind. I got gout in my hands. So my knuckles swelled up, my wrists swelled up, and I had to figure out what caused it. For my one grandfather, it was gout, or cashews. Well, the all-natural way to get rid of it and find out what causes gout in your system, because it's different for every person, is for 2 weeks, you have to go on a 100% vegan diet for 2 weeks. Now relax, I'm not saying you have to stay on it. But for 2 weeks, you have to go on a vegan diet. It pulls all the uric acid out of your system. Once the uric acid is out of your system, the gout goes away. Once it is gone, you start introducing things back into your diet one at a time. That's the essential part. Start introducing it. Let's say dairy. Okay, so you bring dairy back into your diet, and then you ingest that for 2 to 3 days. If it doesn't come back, it doesn't cause it. Now introduce the next thing back to your diet. For me, it was meat. I cannot eat meat anymore. If I eat meat, my hands swell up. So I can eat fish. Fish I can eat. But I cannot eat red meat, poultry, you name it. I cannot eat meat. If I eat meat, I get gout in my hands. The nice unusual kind of gout. But that is the way to get rid of gout naturally and then figure out what is causing it. You have to, 2 weeks, you have to go on a vegan diet. It pulls the stuff out of your system. It makes the uric acid deplete from your joints. Then after that, you introduce each subject back into your body for 3 days. If it doesn't trigger, it's not causing it. So now here's the weird thing. Different meats, I actually had a scale going. So different meats took longer to accumulate the problems. Red meat was fast. Within, one day, it would be back, okay? Chicken took a lot longer. It took, anywhere from 48 to 72 hours. Pork was usually about 72 hours. And then I realized that fish didn't trigger my gout at all. So it was great. And during this time period, I did a lot more research in diet. And that's how I actually came to now being, long story short, that's how I now came to being on the Mediterranean diet, because the Mediterranean diet is a very balanced diet. It's got like perfect macros, by the way. If you're into health and fitness, the Mediterranean diet has like a perfect fats to grains, carbohydrates ratio and protein. Those are your three macros right there that you want to really, really balance. Is your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. And the Mediterranean diet is like perfectly balanced in those things. Depending, obviously, because there's different forms of the Mediterranean diet around the world. So, but if you want to get rid of your gout, that is the way. Again, I'll say this one more time. If you want to get rid of gout, the first thing you have to do is for 2 weeks, go on a vegan diet. Your gout will go away. It'll disappear. After that, start introducing things back into your diet one at a time. Do it for 3 days. If it doesn't come back, it probably doesn't cause it. All right? If it doesn't come back, it probably doesn't cause it. Take a time scale. If it does come back, how long did it take it to come back? Because you may have more than one thing that triggers your gout. For me, again, it was red meat and poultry. Okay, red meat and poultry, as well as pork. Each thing took longer to trigger. Red meat took only 1 day, and it triggered my gout. Poultry took 48 to 72 hours, and it triggered my gout. Pork took about 72 hours, and it triggered my gout. That's why I don't eat any of those things anymore, because all of them eventually trigger my gout. But I do eat some fish, and I do supplement with fish, because seafood does not trigger my gout. For my grandfather, it was cashews, right? So everybody's gout is a little bit different, but that's how you get rid of it. And that is how you live your life without gout. So I hope this was helpful to you. And I'll make a long form video at some point for this as well. So that way, you can dive further into it. I'll put more of the data behind this so that you get the fuller picture. This is just a quick one for anybody out there who watches my live streams. So good fight, Godspeed, good morning. And I can eventually, there we go.